Hello, my health freedom loving friends. Misty Karlfeld here with Health Freedom Idaho. Why am I doing my Sunday update in the car and not in my living room like I usually do? Well, that is because my children are home. That is because my children are not in their Sunday school class. And how in the world can I think in my house with 4 children running around? I mean, one is grown, but he's one of the noisiest of the children. Because he musics all the time. So it's noisy in a wonderful way, but noisy nonetheless. And it is hard to concentrate and think about what I want to say to you on this Sunday update with all my children and my husband home. So I escaped to the car to talk to you this morning. I have a few things that I want to say, and I hope that this encourages you. We had a gathering last night at my house, and several people came, and couples came, and single people came. We had everybody there, right? And children came, and we all exercised our personal responsibility. We exercised our natural rights, and that natural right is to assemble. Now, it's upheld by the Constitution, right? The First Amendment upholds our natural right to assemble, and that's what we exercised last night. Now, what do I mean when I say we exercised personal responsibility? There was one gal that was supposed to come, and she didn't come because she didn't feel good. She had a headache. So she decided to stay home. That's taking personal responsibility. We washed our hands. Everybody washed their hands when they came into my home. Some people they said, well, why don't we take our shoes off? That would help, right? So we're doing these different steps to help mitigate the spread of any virus. The flu is also happening right now. So we should be also taking these precautions because of the flu that's going on right now, right? It's not just the coronavirus. We should all be exercising our personal responsibility because of any virus that goes around or any illness that's going around. So it's a good time of year to be exercising personal responsibility and cleanliness habits. So that's what we did. But I have to tell you, it's been a long time since I got to gather with my tribe. We've all been under a lot of stress, and we've been trying to figure out what is the best way to take care of our families. It's stressful to go to the grocery store and see empty shelves. I went to Target yesterday and people were walking out with toilet paper, and I was like, sweet, I'm not totally low, but I'd like to buy an extra package, make sure I'm good. And, but by the time I got to the aisle, it's gone, right? That is taxing on our psyche, which is also taxing on our immune system. But getting together with my tribe was so good for my psyche. It was good for my heart. It was good for my soul. Everybody there has been messaging me this morning. Thank you for having that gathering last night. I needed it. And it was something really beautiful that I think I've taken for granted. I mean, I've always loved it, getting together with my tribe. I've always felt good. But last night, it was different. It was a complete refilling of my soul. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. That's what I'm hearing in our messaging today. So I just want to encourage you, exercise your personal responsibility clearly. If you don't feel well, don't go out. Wash your hands when you leave the house. Wash your hands when you show up. Clearly, we are smart people. We understand how to take care of ourselves and our families. But also, feed your soul. Feed your minds. We all shared information yesterday that some of it we already knew, but some of it different spins on the things that we already knew, right? So we shared this information, had some aha moments, and part of me is thinking that's exactly what they don't want us to do. Because we really are stronger together. We're smarter together. Because we share our collective research and our collective thought. We bring it to the table, right? And we bring it to the collective. We're sharing that information and we're like, I didn't think of it that way. That's awesome. I knew that happened, but I didn't think of it that way, right? So, I kind of feel like that's what they don't want us to do. And I'm just not going to stop exercising my rights. Because did you see, shoot, I forget which state it was. They were having a birthday party. I think it was California or New York, one of those crazy commie places. And they were having a birthday party for a little girl, and the police showed up. The police showed up to a residence. Was there like 15 police shoulder to shoulder? Were they wearing masks? No. Were they 6 feet distancing? No. They were shoulder to shoulder and showed up at a person's property. We can't allow that in Idaho. That's outrageous. That is outrageous. And speaking of that, the same day I saw that story, actually a video, I see Greg Pruitt's write-up about the mayor in Mountain Home. And what is so beautiful about Idaho, they weren't putting up with what that mayor did, right? So if you haven't seen it, I'm actually going to below put a link to our gathering last night. And in that link, you'll see all the links I'm going to talk about. So just check that out and then look at the comments below. So the mayor said a couple of things in his hour and a half long, it wasn't a rant. It was just an hour and a half of him talking. And he was talking about how he was going to, if people kept going out, against the recommended stay-at-home order, that he was going to have people arrested or he was going to shut down his town. Now, a lot of people go through Mountain Home. So anyway, that's outrageous and it's unconstitutional. But on top of that, 4 days before his hour and a half long, I couldn't listen to the whole thing, I'll just say that. It's within Greg's article, but I'm just going to say nobody can endure that for an hour and a half. I will tell you, 42 minutes in, he talks about how we're all being tracked. He just says it like that. Like, well, you're being tracked, and then continues on. So, we all knew that we were being tracked, but we were being called conspiracy theorists for saying that we were being tracked. And here's the mayor just saying it, you're being tracked. But he also says he's going to shut down the city and arrest people. So, the city councilman in Mountain Home, he made a really long post about how that was unconstitutional, which was awesome. Oh, backing up. The mayor also 4 days before had gone to the gym. Apparently it's paid for by the citizens. So he's effectively kicked out all the citizens and is using a citizen funded gym as his personal gym. Taking a picture, taking a selfie in the mirror and bragging about how the gym is all empty and he's there all alone lifting weights. Well, that was disgusting. That was really disgusting. That's called tyranny. I'm going to kick all my citizens out, all not his citizens, all the citizens that voted him in. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the gym and rub it in their faces with a selfie and post it. Gross. So gross. So anyway, so then the city councilman made a post, right? And then, and he had talked to the prosecuting attorney, the city prosecuting attorney, and he was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, we're not going to go around arresting people. It has to be something pretty severe. So yeah, like that's crazy, right? And so, but what is different about Idaho than any other state, as I'm watching these communist actions and the police showing up at the little girl's birthday party in Idaho, Idahoans don't stand for it. No, they do not stand for it. They get out there and they start talking. We were communicating. Well, Greg wrote up that article. People started communicating. Now, guess what? I heard the mayor did kind of did a rollback yesterday of what he had to say. Too late. Sorry. You played your cards. You showed your hand. You're a dictator. King skies. Too late. But see what's happened now, because he did that and because the citizens rose up and the city councilman was brave enough and the attorney was brave enough to speak up, all the other mayors are on notice in Idaho. Idahoans are not going to take it. No. So, That really gave me hope yesterday. It was beautiful. I was so encouraged. The sheriff up north, I think he's the Sandpoint sheriff. Oh shoot. What's his name? Oh, shoot. I have his letter posted too. Oh, anyway, he's amazing. And he wrote a letter to Governor Little. Health Freedom Idaho has a letter drafted. We're getting ready to send it to Governor Little. We'll post it. Heather Scott did a video talking about your rights and how it really is your duty to exercise your constitutional rights and stand up for the Constitution. This is what makes Idaho unique. So all you Californians and people who came from other states and who were disheartened to see what's happening in Idaho and thinking, why did I uproot my family and move to Idaho when it's just going to happen here all over again? It is not. It is not going to happen here all over again. Because we won't stand for it. We're Idahoans. So welcome to Idaho. Put your boots on and come to work with us. You have to. You have to on a city level, a county level, yep, the state level, on every level. We're going to stand up for our rights. This is Idaho. Welcome home. But you got to fight to keep it. You got to fight to keep it. You can't sit back and let the police show up at a little girl's birthday party and think that we're not going to end up that way. We will end up that way if the citizens don't take action. So this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to defend the state that you came here for freedom for. This is your state of freedom. You have to defend it. I didn't know I was going to actually get on that rant. Sheriff Wheeler, that's his name. Sheriff Wheeler. We want you to be here. We need more people defending our state. But you're going to have to work to keep it. So let's do that. Let's do that together. Now, Ammon Bundy, who's a complete badass, by the way, is hosting meetings. I haven't totally had time to look into it because I was getting ready for my event. He's had a couple of meetings. I watched one of the lives, so I'm not exactly sure of the whole messaging. He and I need to connect. But I know he's hosting meetings and he's getting ready. He's doing something. Are you doing something? It's time. The time is now. I know it took us all a minute to catch our breath, right? We were like, is this really happening? It felt like the Twilight Zone every day. But we've caught our breath. We've regrouped. I've recentered. I hope you have too. I've gotten with my maker. I hope you have too. I've reconnected with my tribe. I hope you have too. And now I'm ready to get to work. Because there is no way I'm going to raise my children in a state where they cannot have a birthday party. Not going to do it. Whew. I didn't really know I was going to go that direction. I hope you all know that that came from a complete place of love. I love you all, and I love our state, and I love our children. And I'm not about to sit back and let it go through the shredder and end up in communism. I'm just not. So there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Fauci. Did you hear what he had to say? I took in a little bit of what the president had to say and what Fauci had to say yesterday. I was busy getting ready for my gathering. And Fauci said something kind of, it just, it's stuck in my craw. It's kind of irritating. He said that he and his wife were going for a walk. How lovely for them. And they're in New York. I think he said New York. And he said, the restaurants are closed, but we're still allowing takeout. Thank you, King Fauci. And, we're still getting takeout. So he said it made his heart happy to see that the takeout food from the restaurant, they were bringing it out from the restaurant and putting it into a basket. And then the citizen was picking up their food and then taking it home. Okay, look. This is nonsense on the 9/11 scale. And I'll say I'll get to what I mean by that. When you are sold a bag of goods that this is actually safety. There just is no way to make it completely safe. You just can't. So you're going to tell me that the people in that restaurant, everybody's wearing a mask, everybody's wearing gloves and changing out their gloves every time they touch something else? Because even the goods that you've brought in from the stores or from the warehouses could be contaminated. Not just with coronavirus, but also with the flu. It's flu season. So you're going to tell me that they're taking off their gloves every time they touch something and putting on new gloves, and that their hands are completely uncontaminated when they grab those gloves? And then how about when they get the box out of the bag of all their little takeout boxes and then they put the food in that? Are they changing their gloves again? And then when they grab a bag, are they changing their gloves again? And then when they take it outside and they drop it off, are they changing? Come on. Come on. This is nonsense. Look, I understand that we can all do our best and we all need to be taking personal responsibility, but it irritated me when it made his heart warm that we've gone to these measures over something that is being proven to not be nearly as bad as it was being sold to us. These are extreme measures that are not infallible for something that doesn't really seem to be as bad as as we thought it was going to be. Sure, when we saw the videos coming out of China, I was like, whoa, I don't want my family to get this, right? But we have more information now. We can see that it's not quite the the pandemic that they wanted us to think it is. In fact, more people still, people are like, well, we don't have enough stats. Still, the flu has killed more people. You know, what's interesting, I saw a graph today that the pneumonia deaths have gone way down. Like, here's the graph, and then pneumonia deaths for this year are way down. Well, that's because the pneumonia deaths are being labeled as COVID-19. Right? Maybe. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. So that we're being sold a bag of goods on that. And why I compare that to 9/11 is because after 9/11 happened, we were told that we couldn't take a big toothpaste in. Remember that? Remember how now we all take little travel-sized toothpaste? Well, I remember the day that I could pack a big toothpaste. And do I really believe that taking in a little toothpaste is more safe than taking in a big toothpaste? No, I don't. I don't buy it. So when we see these things that are kind of absurd, but we're made to be corralled and go through the pen, you know, there's up to something else. Yeah, they're up to something else. So that's what leads me back to, we need to be taking accountability for ourselves. We need to be exercising our natural rights supported by the Constitution. And we need to not live in fear. Fear's no good for us. It isn't. And there's a lot of facts out there now. We don't need to live in fear. And instead, we need to defend our state, our cities, our counties, our state, on every level within the state. It's time to get to work. Feed your soul first, though. I'm going to tell you. Feed your soul first and get with your tribe. That was the best fuel I could have for what we need to do next. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to say? Yes, Sarah, we live in a world of germs. And I'm going to say it. Death is a part of life. It is. Death is a part of life. We're not going to outsmart any disease or illness. We're not. Especially viruses. They mutate and they change and they want to thrive. We're not going to squash it out. It's better to learn how to cohabitate with it, meaning supporting your immune system with vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc. Support your immune system. That way, when you do get sick, it's not so harsh. I don't fear this virus. I don't fear the flu. I have an autoimmune disease. People would say I'm more susceptible. Am I ignorant because I don't fear it? No, I know how to take care of my body. I haven't put my body anymore, I used to, into the hands of the white coat. No, I put my body into my own hands. I educated myself and I got busy taking care of my own body. It's my responsibility. And when we turn ourselves over to anybody else, we lose our own intuition. That's a huge part of healing, you guys. I can speak from experience, our own intuition. We know what our body needs. And when we read and research things like vitamin C, coding each one of our cells, it's right, each one of our cells has a vitamin C ring. And when we're fighting an illness, it gets depleted. It's actually there to be used, but we've got to put it back in. So speaking from experience, when I was really, really, really sick, and I really, really thought I was going to die pretty soon if I didn't turn it around, we did a blood test where you can see the blood on the screen. You can see your blood cells on the screen, and you could see around each one of my cells that the vitamin C was practically gone. It was sad. It was practically depleted, right? There was just like a couple little shreds of it left around my cells. Well, I started doing bags of vitamin C, IVs. And over time, you could see each one of my cells getting those vitamin C rings back. I can't tell you how encouraging that was to see my body doing what it was meant to do, using the resources I was giving it and healing itself. The body is brilliant. It's brilliant. And it was created by a brilliant creator, the most perfect creator. We just have to do what is natural and right to our bodies to nourish it, protect it, and fortify it for these illnesses. I hope that encourages you. Take heart. You are brilliantly and wonderfully made. And you were created for such a time as this. I mean, it's not like the Creator didn't know that we were going to be here at this time. You're here and I'm here for this time. It's our time. It's our time to defend the Constitution, protect our children, and allow space and room for them to have the future they deserve. My son said, he's little. He said, I just want my life back. I just want to play with my friends. Our kids are hungry for relationship too, just like we are. In fact, everybody at the dinner last night, well, we didn't have dinner, at the gathering last night was saying the same thing. Their children are hungry for interaction. They need it too, so let's consider their little well-being, their little spirits. I think that's all I have to say for now. I mean, we did hear the president saying that we need to get back to work, which I agree. My business is essential. And it's hard on my business. My husband's a naturopathic doctor. His business is essential. It's hard on his business. I don't know financially how any of us are going to weather the storm. But to be honest with you, the financial implications are the least of my concerns. Because financially, we'll weather this, we'll figure it out. We're an awesome community. In fact, I saw one lady say she was out of toilet paper and she thought she was just going to wait because everybody was going crazy for toilet paper. And she was like, my plan was to wait it out and then go get toilet paper after all the madness happened. But, it wasn't getting replenished. So she had made a post about that and people offered their toilet paper. I'll bring you some toilet paper. I saw my friend Cheryl make a post saying, I don't want anybody to go to bed hungry tonight. I will bring you food. You guys, we're going to take care of each other. That's a no-brainer. We love each other and we're going to take care of each other, and they have far underestimated us, our human compassion. My greater concern is our freedom. My children's freedom, your children's freedom, the life that they're going to live. My oldest son is in college. He's terrified right now. Am I going to graduate? Am I going to have the life I've been preparing for my whole life? He wants to be a music therapist. He was created for this job. Like, this is, you couldn't find a better match for my son to be a music therapist. Is like clearly God's design. And he feels that that's being threatened right now. No. We can't allow that for our children. We have graduations being delayed. We have proms being delayed. Are those things actually really important? I mean, is prom really important? You know, yes. It is. It is when you're 16. Right? And am I going to sit back and just let the world, you know, crap on all their hopes and dreams? No. No, I'm not. I'm not going to sit in my house in fear and let the rest of the world decide their fate. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about personal responsibility, and I missed over it. Another friend of mine has elderly parents at home, and she's taking greater precautions because we're smart people. They go into the garage, they change their clothes, they, you know, wipe things down before they go into the house. There's no level of care that is, you know, a bad way to go. That's listening to your intuition, taking into consideration your home, the health of the people around you, and exercising that brilliance that's within you. So again, take heart, my friends. Fill up your tanks and get ready. Get ready to take action for our state, for your children and their hopes and dreams. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. We'll be having more gatherings, and I hope that you can make it. We have regional leaders, and we're going to cover the state. And then also be watching for what Ammon Bundy is doing. And just keep an eye out for any opportunity. Oh, one other thing. Yes. There's an event. There is an event, a protest event happening on Tuesday at 5. I need to look and see where that's at. Sarah, can you post the event in this thread so that people can see? Because that's another one. Yes. Oh, there's all kinds of things coming up. They're being planned for you, so show up. It's not going to work if 5 people show up. It isn't. It needs to be the masses. Oh, I got littles coming. Bye.